Everybody is a total mess, and you should be too. I've never heard of this channel before, Exerbia, but I heard it was quite good. My chat linked it a lot, so I'm down to go hear this out. Let's see what's going on.
Neck. Oh, you've got the sads, haven't you?
I do.
Well, why don't we phone a friend and cheer you up?
Okay.
Ring, ring. Yes, hello, this is Elephant. Elephant says, oh, hi, Giraffe. Would you like to invest in my crypto startup?
No, I'm okay.
Well, fuck you twice. Good day. Maybe Elephant's a little busy. Let's see if Tiger has any helpful advice.
I feel really bad for Giraffe. I think Giraffe deserves better, man. Oh, no. I have such a weakness for puppets, bro. Oh, this is so sad.
Ring, ring.
Kvois, Kaszpe.
Tiger says,
Opritvam se da se ne drusam. Nemi zveni poveće beda te eba. Toponar.
well, that didn't go very well, did it?
Oh, poor Giraffe,
I
dude.
bet you feel even more alone now, don't you, Giraffe?
He does.
You're probably thinking about graduating from weekend roast potato binges to weekday gin tonic benders, aren't you?
Oh, no.
No, Giraffe, that's not the way. Probably. Now look, the world is awful at times. It really is.
It
the
is.
only thing I dislike more than living here is myself. But that's okay.
Yeah.
We all get the blues sometimes.
It's so
It'd
true.
be weird not to, considering how strange everything is.
Dude, you know what's crazy? Some of my favorite moments of my entire life were during COVID when all of me and my loser friends were just grinding video games for 13 fucking hours. And now my life is really good because I'm going to the gym every day and I have a great friend group. But my God, why does my brain only remember the bad times? And that's really just how it goes. And it's the truth. Like one bad day can ruin a lifetime of good days. It's really the truth. Our brains work to where we only remember the negative. I mean, even as a content creator, you see 100 people saying, man, you're so great, you're so awesome. You see that one guy say, hey, fuck you, Baldy, you smell like shit. And all of a sudden, bada bing, bada boom, you want to quit your fucking job. It's rough. And I do think there is something wrong with all of us because I do believe that's how the majority of people's brain works.
Perhaps the real problem is that we've built a culture where we aggressively enforce the idea that confronting the sad truths of the world is unhealthy or weird, despite the fact that we all do it, that we have to. And that actually, at the bottom of it, underneath kind regards and birthday cards, everybody is a total mess. And you should be one too.
Great.
So there's about 8 billion.
Everyone's fucked up and then you die. That's one of my favorite quotes. Life sucks and then you die. Man, that's just fucking miserable, huh?
And average life expectancy is around 26,000 days, which means that chances are about 300,000 people are having the worst day of their entire lives.
Wait, the average lifespan is only 26,000 days? That really doesn't seem like that many days. That's like what, 85? So I'm 31 times 365. Oh no, I'm having a fucking panic attack, guys. You're halfway there? Chat, stop. Okay, I need to call Frogan fat before I die again. All right, here we go.
Today, and isn't it nice not to be one of them? But it will come our turn at some point, of course. And what does one do when one's life falls apart? How the hell would I know? Do I seem like a happy person to you? But we might want to talk about this obscure composer you won't have heard of, who in 1876 wrote to his nephew saying, "Indeed, my life is of little worth to anyone. Were I to vanish from the face of the earth today, it would be no great loss to Russian music." That was actually, fucking Tchaikovsky, easily one of the greatest composers who ever lived. Swan Lake, the Nutcracker, you know the cunt. And yet somehow doubted himself constantly.
I do know that
cunt.
cunt.
This writer, a struggling unknown, considered himself hideously ugly and stupid and disliked his work enough he wrote to a friend asking that, after his death, all of his stuff was to be burned. He died at 40 from tuberculosis, and his friend ignored his wishes and had his stuff published anyway. The man was, Franz fucking Kafka, one of the greatest writers of last century.
That's
or
crazy.
How about this unknown Mexican painter living in the shadow of her famous lover, convinced of her naivety, sure, she was a failure. Maybe you've heard of her husband, Diego Rivera. You've definitely heard of her though, Frida fucking Kahlo. Today, we would generally know Diego.
Dude, if Tchaikovsky thought he was shit, how in the fuck does Hassan go live every day and think that he's the greatest human being to ever live? You know what I mean? Maybe it's kind of nice living in delusion, man. I mean, then again, I go live and I think that I'm handsome. You guys gotta join the delusion train, man. It's nice.
Rivera as her spouse, not the other way around. We love you, Frida. But those were all artists. It'd be a bit suspicious if they weren't all a little bit no? Well, how about this American statesman in the 1800s who lost his mother at 9, then his sister at 19, then his 11-year-old son? Himself, he suffered numerous bouts of the sads, writing once, "I am now the most miserable man living. If what I feel equally distributed to the whole human family, there would be not one cheerful face on the earth." Wouldn't expect you to know him. That was just Abraham fucking Lincoln.
Damn!
Next to the pile, Michelangelo, Florence Nightingale, Beethoven.
What
all
the
of them slipping
fuck?
into periods when they
Beethoven?
reported they went to a place for a while from which they simply could not find their way back to themselves. The thing is, we only know about their struggles because their lives are well studied. We're not famous, but we get the blues too, of course. And oddly, it turns out that our brains mostly process physical pain and emotional pain in the same regions, and find it rather hard to tell them apart. The sads
Yeah, that's
actually
rough.
do hurt. Have you hung out with people after their hearts have been broken? It's like they've been shot. Now, if so many of us go to the bad place in the course of our lives, and if civilization is so old, how come we still don't have an agreed sense of how to combat or even talk properly about the emotional ouchies?
Well, what I do whenever I have the emotional ouchies is I just fucking just start jerking off. Like hard. Like I lube my shit up. I'll get freaky with that shit too. You know what I mean? Like when I come hard. Like I start drooling. Any panic attack I'm ever having can be cured by jerking my fucking cock hard. It really does. A good old crank sesh, man. It feels nuts.
We know what to do about dicky tummies and broken legs. Why don't we know how to fix broken souls? Probably because we rarely know how to describe any of this stuff, even to ourselves. English is terrible for talking about complex emotions, especially.
No, English is terrible. It's not English's fault. It's the fact that people who speak English are fucking retarded. I mean, dear God, nuance does not exist in this language. Like, you can have people tweaking over the slightest disagreement on Earth because for some reason, nobody understands anything besides in black and white terminology. I really don't think that is the English language's fault. I just think that, like, you know, a lot of Americans are dumb as fuck, right? And I'm an American, and I'm dumb as fuck, right? So, like, maybe people just need to lock the fuck in a little bit and stop getting so goddamn sensitive. But the problem is these fucking TikTok influencers are making everybody fucking pussies where you can't talk about anything besides how politically correct you are. And if you say anything remotely controversial, you're now deemed as the next Adolf Hitler. It is pathetic.
The sad ones.
It's honestly probably the school's fault, to be completely honest. I mean, dear God. Dear God. Bro, I would not send my kid to a public school system in 2025. It just seems rough. Like, I mean, fuck, I would probably homeschool, to be honest.
The languages are far more specific. For example, Yahaburni, the Arabic for hoping you die before someone you love so you don't have to live without them, or l'esprit de l'escalier, the French for literally the wit of the staircase, for when you think of the perfect comeback you could have said to a joke or an insult but you've already left the party, or cavalieri scaldati, Italian for reheated cabbage, as in trying to restart a relationship that didn't go great last time, it won't this time either, please stop it. But we're lacking for nice things.
I will be real. I've been in relationships where I have broken up with the person well over 8 times. But man, when they just start crying and say, I'm gonna kill myself if you don't date me, I fall for it every fucking time. It's so bad, bro. From now on, if that ever happens, I'm gonna say, nah, I'm good. Hell nah, pass. Absolutely not.
In English too, cafune, Portuguese for when you're running your fingers through the hair of someone you rather like, or koi no yokan, Japanese for when you first meet someone and you already suspect that the two of you might be destined to fall in love, and my personal favorite, Waldheimsamkeit, German for the feeling of
That one's gotta be racist.
solitude you get when you're alone in the woods,
Oh, never
which
mind.
isn't supposed to be sad at all, but surely that can also be the worst experience, because there are 2 modes of being out in the woods, no? There's the old having a map and a plan and a big backpack full of Amsterdam truffles, and then there's the other mode, when you're stuck in the woods.
Dude, it's so bad. I went for a walk the other day. This was like 3 days ago. And I am almost never by myself, like ever. I'm always with somebody immediately. And I was like, you know what sounds really nice? A nice peaceful walk. Like no technology, no music, just me and the world. And so I left my phone at home. I left my AirPods at home. I left my Pokemon Go catcher at home. I've modded Pokemon Go because I'm too lazy to play the actual game, but I still want Pokemon. And I go for a walk, and it's just me alone with my thoughts. Oh, that peaceful walk turned into a depressing, angry-ass fiesta, bro. And when I was like 38 minutes out and I couldn't get any distraction from my own thoughts, oh, I was miserable. I was miserable. I even cried a little bit. But then I endured that. And with that, I got clarity. And with that, I got focused and determined. And I actually got some enlightenment from that walk. So while it is scary to face your own emotions and face your own thoughts, I do think it is good if you can reconcile with yourself and get back on the path of, determination and go to where you need to go. Did you jerk one off? I did jerk off immediately when I got back. I did. Yeah, I know I did. I absolutely did. What did I jerk off to? It's probably Tsunade. Yeah, Tsunade is a classic.
Lost at twilight, out of allies, with nothing but a terrible sense that you're never, ever getting out of this place, and you're completely alone in the struggle. To Chinese literature now. Why? Because shut up. And as an introduction, we'll first meet Zhang Zongchang, a 19th century warlord poet who penned such distinguished work as "You tell me to do this, he tells me to do that. You are all bastards. Go fuck your mother." No,
Whoever this guy is, this guy's the fucking man.
this was real, honestly. Or the sky god is also named Zhang. Why does he make life hard for me? If it doesn't rain in 3 days, I'll demolish your temple. Then I'll have cannons bombard your mum. But let's jump 2,500 years back to 4th century BC China. Lao Tzu is a great scholar who eventually gets tired of the kingdom he's living in and decides to go off and be a hermit. So one story goes anyway.
Don't fuck my mom.
God recognizes him at the city gate as he's trying to leave and says, "I'll only let you through if you write down all of your wisdom." Lao Tzu agrees and knocks out the Tao Te Ching, the founding text of Taoism, a religion still million strong in China, Malaysia, and elsewhere today. Now, no one's actually sure if Lao Tzu even existed, it's unlikely, but the Tao Te Ching sure does. Tao literally means the way, or the path, if you like. That is, the unfolding of the universe, more or less. And one of the central questions of the Tao Te Ching is, cosmically, we know sod all about why anything is here, historically, we're often powerless, and in our personal lives, we're strangers even to ourselves sometimes. How the hell are we supposed to live like this? And the Taoist answer, partly, is that we have to give up trying to be masters of everything. Wu Wei, or doing but without striving. Abandoning the fantasy of control and accepting that we're not in charge of any destinies, least of all our own. Why do birds migrate?
You know what I do? I'm not to brag, I'm kind of a fun guy to hang out with. I'm so lackadaisical and free-spirited. Oh my God, yes. Whenever I get invited to do anything, I say yes every single fucking time. Every time I go to a restaurant, I never look at the menu. I ask the waiter, "What's your favorite thing to get here?" And then I say, "Okay, I'll have that." And I'll be real, I've only been disappointed like maybe twice. But it's really fun. I always get to try new things I would never particularly try. And I like sitting in other people's shoes and feeling what their life's like, what they like to enjoy. It's a lot of fun. You should really try it. You really should try it. Dude, same about stuff my friends have? Yeah, 100%. Just go somewhere and just say, "Yeah, I'll just have whatever he's having." It's always fun, man. It's always great.
Great, because they feel like it. Why did I spend all of last Monday drinking mojitos and lying on the floor pretending to be an iggly wiggly squid? Because I wanted to. The universe knows what it's doing, and we are universe anyway. The more we try to impose our will on everything around us, the more futile it all becomes.
True.
And so we get wonderful lines like, "Happiness is the absence of striving for happiness," or "The world belongs to those who let go."
Oh, I'm about to spit some knowledge on you guys. The saddest part in life is when you've made it. And so many people don't understand that. They say, "When I do this, then I'll be happy. When I get this, then I'll be happy." It's not true. We are goal-oriented creatures on this earth. We strive by having a purpose, and goals give us those motivations. Once we achieve our goals, we lose that purpose, and we must find a new one. So you need to find your enjoyment in the journey. For example, my big goal right now is to bench 315 pounds. Once I achieve 315, do you think I'm going to be happy forever? No. Well, now I want to bench 405. And that's the truth. And you know it's the truth. So stop thinking about how you want to achieve things and think about how blessed you are for wanting to achieve things and how you get to work towards those things every single fucking day. Enjoy the journey and stop thinking about the destination. Truly. Take enjoyment in the grind because the grind is the funnest part.
Or do you have the patience to wait until your mud settles and the water is clear? The original Daoists are...
Is existing without any major motivation a bad thing? I think everybody should have their goals and things they're achieving to do. Absolutely.
2,000 years dead now, but they weren't aliens. They worried about exactly the same stuff we do. Grief, political turmoil, and a frustration at having to exist down here. And their reply to all that was fairly novel. We don't live in utopia. We live in a mysterious zoo of bullshit largely beyond our control. The only choice we get is how to react to it all. Now, I waste your time with all this only because the Tao Te Ching is one of the first serious attempts in history to address the horrors of being alive. And it's probably not a coincidence that much of Taoism really got going a few centuries after Lao Tzu, when China fell into the warring states period, as in 7 very angry states beating the jolly dickens out of each other, constant
Sounds
warfare.
awful.
And just at the point when everything
That's
became
like Twitch
fractured,
right now.
Chinese thinkers
Every
began
streamer
humbling
at
to a
every
mindset
streamer's
to live
throats.
through
And now
the
we have
chaos
streamer
by.
factions and
It's
they all
funny
hate
how
each
that
other.
happens. Personally or historically, something goes awfully wrong and we end up looking for new ways of seeing. But anyway, it's alright because stuff calmed down and everything went swimmingly after that. Except for over in Europe at that time, Athens is getting pulverized by the Spartans in the Peloponnesian War with thousands dead, but in the aftermath of all that instability, out pops Stoicism, an attempt to simply accept a changing and unpredictable world. If you can't put the fire out, then
I will say, Stoicism is something that I've been looking into almost every morning these days. I go to videos to understand what the Stoics look, and if you are feeling like you lack motivation in this world, I think Stoicism would be great for you.
and you may as well toast marshmallows over it. But it's alright because stuff calmed down and everything went swimmingly after that. Except then in 64 AD with the Great Fire of Rome destroying just, 70% of the city. Then 79 AD with Vesuvius the volcano going off and barbecuing thousands of people. Then 165 with the Antonine Plague sweeping through the Roman Empire, killing, just 10 million people. But it's alright because stuff calmed down and we're just in time for what's sometimes called the worst year in recorded human history, 536. A mystery fog has just turned up, probably thanks to a volcano going off in Iceland. The fog will last for almost 2 years, turning the sun into more of a cloudy moon. It'll be the coldest decade in 2.5 millennia. Crops start to fail because obviously widespread famine gets going, setting the stage in a few years for the Justinian plague, which will kill eventually tens of millions. Then 755 and the An Lushan rebellion begins in China, a civil war that'll kill around 13 million people. Then the Mongol campaigns, wiping out maybe 40 million people. That's so much murder that it removed maybe 700 million tons of carbon from the atmosphere. Enough
That's
that we
insane.
can still see it today in Antarctic ice cores. But it's alright because then 1349, Europe gets to enjoy the Black Death, wiping out millions. But out of that, however, comes humanism, where we begin playing.
Dude, it's so freaky because I feel like we're due for a new plague. Like you think about the damage that COVID caused, and it was bad, but bro, it was rookie numbers compared to the bubonic plague. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit was like a drop in the bucket.
Playing with the idea of relying on human reason and compassion rather than exclusively upstairs heavenly stuff. Then the Spanish conquest of the Americas in the 15th century, millions will die to violence and disease. Then the 30 Years' War in Europe in the 1600s, maybe a mere 8 million dead, but it also partly inspires the Enlightenment, pushing personal autonomy and representative government. Then the Industrial Revolution, bringing in enormous innovation, but also urban poverty, out of which though we'll end up with, among other things, Romanticism and Utopianism. Then the Napoleonic Wars with millions dead, because of course. Then the First World War kindly dispatches about 15 million people. Then the second installment, killing 70 million this time, out of which though we'll get existentialism and Dadaism and pacifism and a bunch of other fun flavors of delightfully modern madness.
Well, doesn't that sound like so much fun?
It'd be better not to have the tragedies in the first place, but it is pretty neat how resilient we can be, even as everything goes down the toilet in our own little lives and on the big global stage. And that we know, just as well as our ancestors did, life is cruel and intolerably awful at times, but if one dares to stare directly into the unavoidable abyss of pain, loss and tragedy, the reward at the other end is often new eyes. And maybe beer as well, I don't know, I fucking hope so. But it's alright, because here in the present, stuff has finally calmed down, and everything is definitely going to go just swimmingly.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I have a feeling there might be a turn.
From now on. I used to see my neighbour in the lift of my apartment block sometimes. He was about 40 and always disgustingly optimistic. I would tell him how I'd just broken my foot or had my bike stolen, and he'd say something like, "Oh, but that's great, you must have learned so much about yourself." These responses always made me want to go out and purchase very pointy medieval weaponry, and so I started avoiding him. Then, a bit later, I was in the basements of the block storing some stuff and found an old public death notice. And the notice happened to be talking about my neighbour's wife. It turned out she had died a few years before. I stopped avoiding my neighbour after that. His relentless positivity was still sort of irritating, but in it now I saw an incredible quiet strength that I never stopped admiring. Oh no, I thought. Everyone is secretly broken, aren't they? Being a kid is this weird experience of everyone older introducing you to the world. Oh yeah, they say, there's the library, and there's the cinema, and the bakery, and that's the cave of hopeless despair you'll end up in sometimes, where all of your dreams are savagely crushed for no obvious reason. And you say, sorry, what? And they say, oh, and over there is the juice bar. But something happens or nothing happens, and one morning, a little older, you do wake up in the cave, seemingly alone. It's very dark in there, and you wander about for a while, but you can't find the exit. No problem, you think, I've got this compass. But the needle just keeps spinning. No problem, you think, I'll dig my way out. But soon your hands are bloody, so you abandon that. No problem, you think, I'll just wait for rescue. But all you hear are the distant voices of the rest of the world on the beach outside, apparently having a lovely time without you. And so you carve your name into the rock, because what else is there to do here but sit in misery and wait for nothing? But you do come out of the cave again, of course, often with the help of friends, or sometimes via events just as mysterious as those that brought you in here. But you come out of despair and fall back into the world, and hopefully everything is fine once more.
I can't tell you how many times I start thinking that my life's over, everything is fucked, I can't recover from this. How every single time that I'm wrong, how every single time that I think I'll never be happy again, the very next day is one of the happiest moments of my entire life. And it really is true. If you were willing to put in the work, if you were willing to persevere and not bow down to difficult challenges and adversity, you will find a great joy in life. You really will. And when you give up, you lose. And it's like a saying where you miss 100 times of the shots that you don't take. So just don't give up and keep believing. Things will get better as long as you're willing to fight to do so.
Strangely though, perhaps a while later...
Yeah, you can't win if you don't play. Absolutely. Oh yeah. Yeah, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Absolutely.
Later, you pop back to the cave out of curiosity, but with a torch this time, and find that your name was not the only signature on the wall. There were hundreds of signatures of everyone you've ever known, millions from all the others who did their lonely time in here as well. Because it would be odd to go an entire life without occasionally losing the plot. It would be weird to live as a talking primate, knowing just enough to know that we know basically nothing, surrounded by disasters, losing people forever as we do, and not have a bit of a fucking wobble now and then. It isn't amazing so much chaos and suffering has happened across history. Rather, it's amazing that it happened and we're still here, still being decent sometimes. That in spite of all the horrors, we still came up with democracy and aspirin and winter fashion for cats. That we continue in the face of loss and despair. And
you guys ever put any outfits on your cats? I like putting a banana hat on Eggy. It's so funny. It is crazy what the human mind has created over the years. It really does give you an extra appreciation for who we are as, I guess, animals.
Because of that, because we continue, a while from now we get to stand on the high cliff looking out on the warm day with all of our wisdom as we experience yet another feeling we don't have a word for in English.
I think my biggest regret currently in life, and I don't really have that many regrets, besides the people who I choose to date, is probably the fact that I've never been outside of North America. I do really think that I need to eventually go and see the world and experience the beauties it has to offer. But I don't want to do that as an escape because I love my life. I love my house. I love my friends. So I would obviously want to bring all of my friends with me on these journeys. But it would be cool seeing what Germany and Europe, Japan, China, Korea, Australia, what they have to offer. Because I do just feel like horrifically out of touch knowing that I've been alive for 31 years and I've never left the rock that I was born on. Like, sure, I've lived in Virginia, I lived in Canada, I was in Mexico, I was in El Paso, I was in fucking Florida, North Carolina, Oklahoma, but like, I feel like the world has a lot to offer that I've never seen. And I really feel like I should go see what they have to offer very soon. Nah, there's nothing outside of America worth seeing, don't worry. Is everything out of America shit or no? Come check out Finland, man. It's got a polar opposite of Texas. Really? Go meet up with Joey and PewDiePie in Japan. That'd be cool. No. Italy's insane. Really? I heard Italy has really good spaghetti. But I also really make good spaghetti, so is it really worth?
Énouement. The strange sense at having arrived now in the future and wishing you could tell your past self that everything will be okay. Because it will be. Until the next time you take a little vacation in the cave of despair perhaps, and another version of you waits quietly ahead in the future, having braved those hard times as well, so that you can return back to yourself once again, as we always do.
Why did that video make me so sad? Like, I just feel bad for the giraffe. Like, am I crazy? Like, that video, I'm sitting here and I just feel not good. I was happy all day today and now I'm just like not happy. What did you do to me? What did they do to you? Like, comment, subscribe.